Hello and welcome to another episode of Funbearable Podcast. I'm Brad Rohr.
I'm Ray Harrington.
And I'm Chuck Staten.
And we're recording a separate intro because we have a special guest on the episode this week. We will be joined in studio by stand-up comedian Mark Normand.
I think he prefers to be thought of as a podcaster.
Yeah.
According to this episode, anyway. That's what I got.
In the email I got.
That joke is going to pay off in about an hour and a half.
So in this empty chair that is here during this intro,
Yeah.
very soon will be filled with a human boy named Mark.
That's true.
He does like to be referred to as a human boy. Yeah.
Mark is a great guy, super successful comedian, like has been on the rise and
Pretty
continuing to
successful,
fucking kill it. And I've been lucky enough to be a little part of that with Tuesdays with Stories for the past year and a half. Every week, me and Mark and Joe List have so much fun, like just recording and then like getting Chipotle and recording more. And he's been a great guy. He's been super generous with me. Wonderful dude, wonderful friend. And I appreciate him coming on the podcast, man.
And he's not dead.
You know,
Because that sounded like
it sounded a
very-
little
hold on, I have more to
memorial.
say.
Yeah.
Hold on, I have more to say.
in memoriam.
He was a good man.
Oh.
And those who knew him best would impart.
Let's just throw to the interview with Mark Normand.
You know, I hope he's still alive by the time this comes out.
I used to jerk off to Eon Flux.
Oh, no, Alex Mack.
Hey,
too real.
Clarissa explains it all.
She was too old.
Alex
Clarissa.
Yeah, I like Clarissa.
Yeah, Brad's a real Ferguson.
That's
true. So my buddy, producing partner, Lee Leshin, he worked on the Nickelodeon documentary, The Orange Years.
Yeah.
And he was meeting with all the different Nick royalty, right?
The Orange is
Met
what I call
with-
the Trump run.
That's not bad.
Met with Alex Mack, and he said that she is gorgeous.
She's,
Oh yeah, some Veep.
Well, she was hot on Alex Mack.
different lady.
Is that a different lady?
A different
Who
lady.
am
You're
I
thinking of My Girl.
Oh, are they different?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She loves bees.
Oh no.
No, so Alex
We
Mack,
broke
yep, he's frozen. This doesn't work when you're not on Zoom.
Oh, it's buffering.
She was hot on Alex Mack,
Yeah.
but then she was on Third Rock from the Sun, and she was
was?
beautiful.
Wait, it's not the tall sister.
She was Joseph Gordon-Levitt's girlfriend.
Love interest.
I want to let the
Beautiful.
tall sister like
Beautiful.
carry me.
Yeah.
I want her to cradle me.
Sexy big lady.
I want her to
Sort of.
rock me and
Those-
tell me what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
if you two fucked, we'd have like a Yao Ming situation.
God. You
it comes out Asian?
You mean Unstoppable? That's what I would name the kid. Unstoppable.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
she was, I mean, she's okay, but she was in Austin Powers as like a hot girl in one of them, and she just did not fit. She was
Oh,
super
the
Russian.
photographer. Yeah, that didn't
It was
work.
gross. She scares
Gross.
me. She scares
Ouch.
me.
How dare
I
you?
know.
She's gonna blast through that wall and beat you up.
I mean, Chuck
Tall
was more of
people.
a
Oh, yeah.
Chuck was more of a Jane Curtin guy on Third Rock. So he's
Yeah.
like, that's,
Well, we met Doug Key's girlfriend this weekend, and she's 22.
She's Jane
Oh
Curtin.
boy.
And I was like,
Chuck, you can't stop talking
oh,
about this, bro.
I love her.
All right.
But I was like,
I like her for different reasons than your creepy.
well,
weird
I
shit.
said like, oh, I thought you were like 27, and she's like, really? I go, yeah, you're so tall. And she's like, that's not how age works.
That's a good point.
We're good. We're rolling on everything. So however you want to start it up, Ray.
Oh,
I
that
thought
was
we
gold.
already did.
yeah, it was great. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
go.
gotta-
We'll start
Except
it.
for the part where you
Well,
talk
not-
about wanting to fuck Doug Key's
No,
girl.
I told him last night at the table.
Oh, that's right. He got it all out in the open.
Yeah,
that
it's
he
out
wanted
there.
to fuck her.
Yeah, well,
I
they
mean, it
break
doesn't
up.
make it right though, right? Like if you air it, doesn't make.
We're if they break because they're moving together to Brooklyn. So
Yeah.
if they break up, I'm 2 boroughs over.
Oh, you're really smitten on this.
You have a plan and a map and
Oh,
everything.
boy.
I gotta bleep this. Yeah. Who are they talking about?
Yeah, we'll definitely bleep it.
We'll bleep
We'll
it.
definitely bleep
Just
it.
4 minutes.
Can you take me with you?
Sure.
I don't
sure.
like that I've
Gotten in
shackled
bed?
myself to
To-
what
to-
is only going to be a future problem.
I also you're also talking
and
to
a
someone who's
present
also shackled to me. By the way,
Oh,
that's who
yeah.
you're talking
a lot
to.
of shackles
Yeah,
there.
but you can just be like, don't come in tomorrow, and then it's over, right?
True,
Because you've
true.
got Joe. You can talk with Joe,
That's
and everything's
true.
fine. And then it's just going to be me and Brad,
Yeah, it's
just
gonna-
profusely apologizing because
that's
we
what it's going to
clearly
be.
knew
Yeah. All the signs were there.
all of the signs.
I didn't know you were working with R. Kelly.
Didn't know.
Our Chucky, yeah.
R. Chucky.
This should not be the intro.
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Funbearable. My name is Ray Harrington.
I'm Charles Staten.
I'm Brad Rohr.
Hey, Mark Norman here.
Our guest today, Mark Norman.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you want to...
Hey, Mark Norman here.
I like the idea of putting our guest on the spot immediately with a weird responsibility.
I told him this was an incredibly aggressive podcast. We were going to call it Why'd You Do That?
One of the names we were floating was Nice Shirt.
Oh.
Just a mean thing. Brad, you got one?
Fun.
Defend yourself.
Yes. Here are some
Okay.
MySpace posts.
It's funny, when I started comedy, there would be all these mean things that people would say after you bombed. One was, whew, good speech. That was always fun.
that.
And
I
then
like
the other
that.
ones, you show up and they go, oh, when are you changing? And I was like, oh, that one would always stick.
Yeah, that's a harsh one.
Yeah.
That is a harsh one.
I always
you're
think
like,
about
what?
the Chevy Chase Bill Murray moment where it's like medium talent, which Bill Murray said to Chevy Chase.
Yes,
backstage
really?
at
I
SNL.
love me. I
Yeah.
love that.
Medium
It's
talent.
so mean. It's
Ouch.
so
Yeah.
mean.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I don't like? I don't like the well-meaning compliment that turns into an insult from someone.
Yes.
I like something like, you should definitely keep at this.
Oh, I
brutal.
hate it.
Brutal.
Yeah.
My wife hated you, but I like it.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
I always got. I like that you didn't swear.
And
And that was
the
it.
worst.
That was the entire
That's the
feedback.
compliment that you have to give to someone when they're like, can you watch this thing that I made?
Yeah.
And you're looking at it and you're like, got to find a
What-
positive.
what can I
gotta
find a
a
thing to
positive."
say?
Yes.
The lighting was so good.
Brad had a great thing recently. We went to a couple weeks ago. We went to East Side Pockets. This is maybe 2 months ago.
What's that? A billiard?
It's
Strip club?
No, it's a Middle Eastern restaurant.
Ah.
And so here's what's
I would've
funny.
Never gotten that.
I was dating the teacher I've talked to you about.
Yeah.
Wendy. Her last name is Arabian. So Brad has a thing where he'll
Her
like
last name is Arabian? Wendy Arabian?
Wendy Arabian.
Yeah.
And so we had a thing, like Brad will make a joke where like, let's say Ray's waiting for his coffee. He'll be like, thanks a lot, Ray, holding everybody up, just being stupid.
Yeah.
So we're in a Middle Eastern restaurant. What did you say?
I think I said another classic Arabian screw up,
Oh, no.
and immediately was like, "Wait, no, that's not."
Isn't that so good?
What a whimsical way to describe terrorism. An Arabian screw up.
Another classic Arabian screw up. That was the
boy.
New York Times headline.
Yeah,
Egg on their face, huh?
right. It's like that Goldman joke where he's like, oh, Hitler with his shenanigans. He's like, shenanigans, huh? Oh, the Holocaust with their hijinks. He does like 10 of them.
I love that.
Now, did you stay?
Yeah,
we
we had to
stayed.
finish that wrap. That was delicious.
Yeah, good stuff.
Everybody's just glaring at you.
Yeah.
That's
fun.
great. It was
Uh,
great.
I got a question for you, Marcus.
Please.
Is that your full name, Marcus?
No,
Marcus Aurelius, named after the emperor.
that's me.
Yep.
And I heard a rumor that your real first name is Norman.
Yeah,
I
they just
flipped
changed
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that true?
No.
Are you sure?
I never looked into it.
Because
But...
I've got paperwork.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Defend
Yeah. I don't know.
yourself.
Oh, do you know who my father
Something
is?
about being in a warm basement makes me feel antagonistic, and I apologize.
I mean, it feels like it's
I'm
a,
having flashbacks to
good cop, bad cop
that
thing.
one
Yeah.
time I went to Boy Scouts.
Medium cop.
Yep.
Oh,
Medium
cop.
talent.
He's easy. I like him. Medium cop is just right.
Yes.
Of course, ACAB.
Oh, yeah.
All children are bastards, right? No, so you're going to be at, by the time this comes out, it will have already happened, but you're going to be at the Portland, Maine Comedy Festival.
Yes.
You're closing it out. I'm opening it up.
Oh,
right?
great.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going to be up there too. So I haven't done the festival yet. I've heard great things, so
All
hopefully
right.
it's a lot of fun.
I've never been to Portland, Maine. I've heard it's awesome. I can't wait.
Honey.
Really?
I grew up in Maine. I'm originally from Maine.
Ah.
And Portland's where I started doing stand-up. And it's a great city. You're gonna have so much fun. It's like a secret, charming place,
Oh, I
right?
can't wait.
It's got history, not so much slavery because it's Maine.
I don't care for
There's
it.
the Underground Railroad,
Okay.
right? That's good.
They had the
Net
okay.
positive.
That's like we
That's a
call
good-
it a subway.
Yeah, right.
And the food scene is great. Chuck,
All right.
Chuck would know because I tell him about some of the
Slab
places.
pizza, he tells me about all the time.
When you go to Portland, you have to go to Slab Pizza.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
the best pizza. It's not like regular pizza.
Is it like marble slab where they put it in?
Yes.
Okay.
No, it's like this huge, thick Sicilian crust pizza, and it's so fucking good.
I can't wait.
I love it. Every time I go through Portland or I'm going to Portland, it's perfect.
All right.
What venue are you at?
It's called the Aura.
Yeah.
Oh, Aura's great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like a new theater, but the theater is built like almost taller than it is, its footprint, right?
Ah.
Yeah. So it has 2 levels, but
Oh,
those
no.
levels are right in front of you.
Okay.
So
okay.
it feels intimate like a club show, but it's a theater.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Great.
It's fun. It's a good time. When was last? Oh, I was there with Gilbert Godfrey.
Whoa.
Dang.
Where's he been?
He is taking some time. He's retired.
You got canceled.
It's been a long time.
shit,
He's
by
not
God.
answering my
Yeah.
text messages.
That problematic child finally got him.
Yeah.
That's bad. That's not worth it. But no, it's a great venue. I think you'll have a lot of fun there. I'm on Peaks Island.
Whoa.
It's on an island. You have to take a ferry to the show. I've never been to Peaks Island. It feels like Stephen King short story territory, right?
Right. Well, he is a Maine guy.
Yeah, he is the main guy, and I feel like when I get there, they're gonna make me like pull a stone from a leather satchel,
Right.
and if it's black, I gotta die.
Yeah.
Not for those reasons. All the other ones are white stones. It's
just
boy.
he wrote it. He wrote it.
Shirley Jackson wrote
Oh,
it.
Shirley Jackson
There you go.
wrote that. I'm sorry. What the lottery, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Should we just start the whole
Yeah,
podcast?
yeah, yeah.
I love
Funbearable.
a not well-known literary reference. That's what
That's
I
a
like.
fairly well-known
That's a
lottery.
very well known.
Sure, Mark, having fun with it.
All I know is Precious by Sapphire.
Okay.
That's all I know.
So
We're
we're
talking
right
books.
now. We should kind of set this up. We're in Rhode Island. We're at the Comedy Connection, where you sold out 8 shows. We've been having fun all weekend.
That's
Couldn't
congratulations
hit that 9,
on
huh?
that.
Couldn't hit that 9.
Didn't do it. I tried.
I pushed for it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
No dice, huh?
No dice.
So
Next year.
Was going to do a Saturday morning kids matinee and something about it. Just,
Yeah.
they did it. They did a matinee show yesterday
That's
before
right.
you went on. Right?
It was like a women in comedy.
Pinky Patel. Is that a thing?
That's
Yeah.
a thing.
That's her. That's
Yeah.
who it was.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Pinky Patel at like 3:00. But Corey and Dave built like this awesome podcast studio in the basement. They're letting us use it. Shout out to the Comedy Connection. It's Brad and I. That's our home club where we perform. It's Ray's home club. Mark comes here a lot.
Oh,
Been here
yeah.
a bunch of times since we started working together. So
It's
a lot
his
of fun.
home away from home club.
Yes,
Yes.
that's exactly right.
No homo.
Yeah, it's
Great,
good stuff.
great club, great time, and I've been coming here for years. And you had like 8 people.
Yeah.
And you get 16, so
Yeah.
it's nice to come back and sell it.
Oh, it's killer. The
Next time, 9 shows.
That's
Yeah.
the plan.
Yeah.
No, the last night's crowd was just like crazy warm. The 7:00 show was
so
so
good.
warm. It was awesome.
And we had a couple of tough ones.
Oh,
before
yeah.
that. So when you get that good one, you really soak it in.
Oh yeah, it's been good. My parents came out last night.
Well, that's
They
a good-
loved him. They
that's a-
love this
That's
guy.
a good crowd right there.
Yeah, sweet,
Chuck
sweet
folks.
Statons.
They've been talking about you the whole day. They're like, oh, he's your new brother. He's gonna come over, go in the pool. I'm like, anytime. He'll do
yeah,
it.
we'll have some sweet bread. We'll fuck.
If you wanna give the blessing at the Staten family Thanksgiving, you can take my place.
He does that every
Oh,
year at
really?
Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
It
Brad
feels-
is like the 4th Staten.
yeah.
That's a lot of pressure.
Oh,
that day.
yeah. Oh,
Dinner
yeah.
speech.
An
That's
outsider,
brutal.
too.
Yeah.
Oh
That's-
yeah, he
that's
does it
something.
when he comes to Christmas. He does it too.
Yeah.
Do you have a set list and notes?
Some notes.
I did immediately picture when you said that. I immediately pictured you pulling out paper and hearing crumpling paper
Yeah.
unfolded in a
Just a lot of shaking.
Yeah, I picture the dad lighting you. Like, all right, that's enough.
Webster's dictionary defines family.
What's the deal with cold turkey?
Yeah. I just try different things every year, like
Yeah.
just different genres of speeches.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Stump speech in 2016.
Next year is the Michael Richards.
Oh yeah. Nah, there's a
Can you
little
take
bit,
that one from me?
little bit of
Yeah.
a little bit of Michael Richards in every Thanksgiving blessing I get at the Statens.
Speaking of Michael Richards,
Oh,
what
yeah.
a transition! This reminds me, I owe you a green room story from earlier.
Oh,
from-
yes.
Before we started recording.
I want to hear this.
Okay, so I mentioned earlier the green room upstairs. This used to be a bank years and years and years and years ago, before we were even in our moms, and the green
No,
room.
that's the best way to phrase that.
Yeah.
right.
Well, I was in your mom recently.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm on cold
Add it to the
medicine.
speech.
So. Ooh. So it used to be a bank. The green room is the old vault.
Yep.
Right. So we can't shut the door.
It's curtains.
So there's curtains, right? And I was talking about how somebody had to get removed from there because there's easy access.
Oh, yeah.
Right, yeah.
So years ago, I was doing a weekend here. I headline like once a year, have fun, do the thing, home show kind of mentality. And this woman who was a fan from way back, like when I was like, I'm just starting to feature, right?
Sure.
That guy. She wanted to come to the show. She had previously been banned for activity outside of that. Do you remember the hardcore show that was here? It
I've
was
heard.
Late Night
I've
Friday.
heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was like a thing with a couple other comics in the area, and we would do a Friday night late night show, and she would come to those, and then was asked not to. And so she wanted to come to this. She was reaching out on social media, asking me if she could go. I was like, you got to talk to the club. She said she was sorry, asked the club. They said fine. She showed up, and Becky, the wonderful bartender here at the club, Becky's the best. She was like, hey, so she came, and she wanted to give you a cake.
Oh, boy.
For your birthday.
Well, that's nice.
All right.
And she was saying she wanted to surprise you with it on stage.
Oh, that's too much.
Yeah, and I was
way.
like, no, I don't want that at all. And she's like, okay. And this woman tried so many times to like sneak up to her seat with the cake.
Wow.
And eventually Becky was like, we're going to hold the cake. We will hold the cake. We're not going to let you have the cake during the show. After the show, we'll give you the cake, right?
Great.
She tried so many times. She tried to sneak back in like the little refrigerated area to grab the cake.
Wow.
Like it was insane. She wanted to give me this cake on stage. Cut to the end of the show. She comes into the green room. She hands me the cake. The cake says on top in icing, "Happy birthday, N-word, Ray."
That's fun.
That's all it said.
is a
in
good
frosting.
birthday.
Wow.
I never thought I would ever live to see
Do you think
the
she
N-word
did
in
it?
frosting.
I've gotten a cake made with the word cunt on it
Yes.
before.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. I went to Ben & Jerry's and it said, "Happy birthday, you big fat cunt."
All right.
And so
And
that's
it
fun.
was delicious.
That's
It was for my birthday. It was so good.
But did you think she had it made at a bakery?
She did have made at a bakery,
Wow.
not a bakery, a grocery store bakery.
Right.
And she told me the story of how she had to fight with the person to have them make it. But here's the deal. It didn't say my N-word, Ray.
Yeah.
It just said, "Happy birthday, N-word, Ray."
Do you have a picture of it?
A little.
I do not have a picture of
Oh, we need that
it.
photo.
That would be good. That
just
would be
a
good.
little Huckleberry Finn energy there.
Right.
Little Mark Twain.
Insane. Not in quotes.
Nope.
Nothing. Just that.
Wow.
And the weird part is, as soon as I looked at this cake, I was baffled. I was just like,
Can I ask a question?
Kind of a good way to have a diet, you know? Like, well, I don't eat
No,
that. I don't want to put
no.
that inside of me.
Yeah.
You know what?
Just
I'm
write
gonna
the
eat,
N-word
I'm
on
gonna
all
eat
your foods.
3/4 of the cake. I'm just
Yeah.
wait, now I'm leaving this. I should eat it first.
You should eat the,
Yeah.
the ER
Yeah,
first.
there you go.
Inclusivity.
Yep.
what? What?
Why
did you eat that piece of the cake?
Also, why are you saying the word inclusivity when we're talking about an N-word cake?
Was it chocolate or was it vanilla?
Yeah. What was the icing
I
situation?
honestly don't remember because I'll tell you this: I did not eat any of that cake.
There's
I'm
one.
sorry if you're watching this. I did not eat the cake. It felt morally wrong, and also I didn't know where this cake was from.
Yeah.
You're a lady that put the N-word on a cake. I'm not eating food from you.
Can I? I mean, I think I know the question. I mean, I know the answer to this question. Is there any reason that you can think of that she put that on the cake?
None.
Come on.
I was talking with like Becky and with some of the other comics, right? And it was fun that this weekend came on my birthday. So it was like, oh,
Yeah.
great, this is great. It's like 2 days before or after. And
She wanted this on stage. That's
she
the funny
wanted to
part.
give it to me on stage.
Like that would go well.
I know. Oh,
Let's
Yeah.
let's treat this like a safe space. Did you have an ironic stage name that you're?
Yes. Were you in the Chitlin circuit before this?
It was when I had a catchphrase.
There we go.
And
Happy birthday! It just happened to be your birthday. You nothing to do with it. She didn't even know.
I saw a hamburger,
Yeah.
and I was just like, I can do this. I can do this better. No, she said that, and we were all looking at it and just trying to figure out why she would think this is the thing. Because also of the comics that did this recurring late night show, right? Late night Friday night
It's
show.
the hardcore show.
It's the hardcore show, right? And the other comics I'm super close friends with, they're some of my best friends. They're more aggressive or dirtier or more insulty or anything like that. In the hardcore show, like I was the cleanest one,
Right.
and I would not say that word on stage. that's not what I do.
Of course,
right?
yeah, of course. I
Wow.
wouldn't
Off
think so.
stage, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he said on stage.
Every other word.
I'm reading Huck Finn to my son.
there you go.
Okay,
He's like, I cannot tell a lie. I would not say that on stage.
unless I was doing a reading of some of Chuck's private emails.
I also like the idea that like you said she had to fight with the guy to make it. She won.
Yeah.
She won the fight.
Oh, apparently.
Yeah, she won.
That's
for sure.
crazy.
And then was it a black guy? Was it a white guy? There's so many questions. And where did she get a watermelon cake?
I want to see.
Go.
I want to see I want to see the video of the baker being like, "All right, I'll do it." Like I want to see
Yes.
him lose the fight.
It's
I
gotta
like
it's gotta
sulky
be. I'm
shoulders
gonna do it
to-
just so she leaves.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
Don't like go to a different grocery store, get a box from them. Don't say that you got it from us.
You're
Yes.
such a pushover.
Oh, yeah.
Could someone have influenced you into doing
Could
that?
someone make you do an N-word cake?
I don't know that I've.
A
All right.
black guy could make me do it. Because if he's asking for
Oh, that's interesting.
it. Yeah.
Interesting
That's a
that you
good
say
point.
he's asking for it.
Oh.
You should see the way he's dressed.
Hey guys, this is so uncomfortable.
Well, here's the last question. This might be the best Impractical Jokers, the next prank. All right, Sal, go in
That's
and
a
get a
good-
cake.
All right, now you have to get a cake. Now
Yeah.
you have to get a cake.
I'm pitching that to Quinn.
Pitch it.
Yep. And then, but it has to be said like, can you please write out, I am the baker and I am saying this
Yes.
on the cake.
Yes.
I do like to think it's the last day that person worked at the bakery at their grocery
for
store.
sure.
They just went home and went, it's not worth it anymore. This woman argued with them to get this cake made when she begged to come back to a club she was banned from. And I was just too nice and was like, if they say it's okay,
Right.
And then she comes in and hands me this cake. And it's just so baffling as to why.
That's a great story. You
Why
can,
am I gonna
look at
why
this
aren't you?
cake?
You should be. I can't believe I've known you for so long, and this is the first time I'm hearing this.
I contain multitudes. I've got inside of me, I have, fatherly stories of my child, fatherless stories of my childhood.
There's
and
you know what? There's a lot of
slur desserts.
there's a lot of different Rays. There's Father Ray. There's Comedian Ray.
N-word Ray.
Third Ray.
N-word Ray is probably a guy out there.
Maybe she just thought you were someone
His
else. and
merch never said
Not a good
She
sell.
thought you were someone else. She just has really bad eyesight. Really bad.
it's so incredible. And then she just was very excited and
Yeah.
very into things, and eventually it was they had to be like, you have to leave now. And guess what? The band is back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if
she's
this
doing.
lady's out there, I will take that cake and I will eat the N right in front of you.
Right.
I'll take any free food. I don't care if there's a swastika on a cupcake
I thought it
or
was
whatever.
going to be Bigger Ray. That's
Yeah.
She just has a speech impediment.
So what's the most racist dessert you've ever had?
That's a good question.
Growing up in New Orleans, I mean,
I had to build that
Knowledge,
wall
sir.
cookie once. It was pretty great.
I was trying to think of what to do.
I already used swastika. But yeah, good times. It's funny because there's all these news stories about these guys who won't sell a gay cake. I'm getting married to my boyfriend. I need a cake for a gay wedding, and they're like, no. And this guy's like, all right, I'll do the N-word, no problem.
yeah. It could have gone all the way to the Supreme Court.
That's right.
This woman, and then I'm tied into it for no reason.
Yes.
That's what I would
Yeah,
love.
every
That's what
bit
I
of reporting is like, the woman wanted N-word Ray, based on comedian Ray Harrington.
That would be the best.
You have to start touring under it.
If she couldn't get it made, she saw the gay cake thing, and she's like, "Hey, we want something on the other side of this political coin."
Yeah.
So she goes to the Supreme Court. I should be able to get whatever I want, and it is you being pulled.
Yeah, I have to take the stand for no reason. What do you think of this? I don't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't even want the cake. I don't believe in that cake. I don't support that.
I've never eaten cake.
That's the other thing. Is like based on my looks, I look like I like cake, and I look like somebody that would say that word.
You're from Maine.
If all I need to do is put on shiny sunglasses and take my picture in a truck,
Then you're there.
put that up as a profile pic, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, for sure, that guy had an N-word pic."
If you had a trucker hat and like a bass,
Yeah.
I would be like, "Yep, that's him. That's his name. That's his station."
N-word Ray.
Yeah. This guy orders Jews Run the World croissants from Dunkin' Donuts. I don't know. I tried to think of something.
Good, I like that one.
I just couldn't. To this day, I will never forget that. And that's not something I lead with. That just came up organically because we were talking about the green room. But
You don't have a joke about the N-word? Not saying the N-word, but no joke about racial anything, huh?
Not really.
Wow.
Not really.
Yeah.
The closest thing I have is just from a personal thing that happened in a green room. Was a friend of mine who's he's Puerto Rican and he's a comic.
I love this. It's great.
He's a comedian and he's Puerto Rican and it's germane to the story because we were talking about racial stuff in the green room before the show. I stay away from it, I think, because I have the face where a stranger will talk to me, right? In public.
Yeah.
If somebody has a question, they're going to ask me. I'm 6'7", I stand out. I look like friendly, so they're like, I'll talk to you, including crazy people. I'm a crazy magnet.
You look like good Frankenstein because you're big and tall. You got the flat head.
You got bolts
I'm
sticking out
afraid
of your
of
neck.
fire.
Yeah, he's afraid of fire. The townsfolk are not pleased with his presence.
I gave a flower to a little girl. So we were talking, and he said, "You're one of the good ones." To me,
As a honky.
Yes.
yeah, we
Gotcha.
talked about this on my podcast.
Did we?
Yes, and then I wanted to reciprocate, and my instinct was to say, "You're one of the good ones," and it just it's a very
that's
different
right.
dialogue.
That's good. Yeah,
Very different dialogue, but that's the closest I'll get to racial stuff. I don't know. What do you? I mean, you talk about race. You talk about. I think you talk about the conversation of race.
Yes.
That's where I can play. That's
Yeah.
fine, because that's more just a conversation about what's happening. But I'm not going to be here like, who's the best race, right? I'm not doing that.
No. Racial material. It's a piece of cake.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Perfect.
That's good.
So we did get you a cupcake.
Yes.
Ooh.
I don't like that.
Did you really?
No. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay. It's just David Duke on it.
There's some hummus over there. I'll get a stylus. I can write something in the hummus.
It's an Arabian fiasco.
Yes.
What was it? Not fiasco.
Arabian
Nights.
another classic Arabian
Classic
mix
screw
up.
up.
Screw up. There
Arabian
you
screw
go.
up. Yeah, with the hummus.
I guess terrorism isn't a screw up. It's actually well planned.
Yeah. Well, often. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't Bill Maher get he got his show completely canceled?
He said they were
Politically correct.
brave.
Yeah, he said, say what you will about. I don't know. Why am I going to say it?
Yeah.
I don't want to do this.
You're constantly defending
Bill Maher.
terrorism.
Yeah. You know who I like? Definitely Republican Bill Maher.
Yes.
Yeah,
Who
he's
says
really
he's a Democrat?
he's flipped.
Oh, yeah.
It's time to bring that summer heat into the bedroom. That's right. This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Confidence can take you far in life, especially in the bedroom. That's where Blue Chew comes in. Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets, all at a fraction of the cost. Take them anytime and be ready whenever an opportunity arises.
And notice it said when you need confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's important to remember that confidence is necessary and welcome in so many different ways.
Yeah,
right?
not just the bedroom. Yeah.
Right.
The bathroom, the kitchen, the living room, the office.
Rumpus room.
Sometimes I'll take a Blue Chew when I need that little boost of confidence.
I agree.
For instance, I took one before we started doing this copy.
Yeah.
Before we started doing our sponsor, our ad breaks, I wanted to take it because I wanted to feel good about doing this. So I currently am chewing and doing it.
Wow.
And I have a lot. I can tell you right now, confident.
I was going to say, you seem confident.
I'm a meek driver, and when I'm like, I need to change lanes, but nobody's letting me over. Nope. Blue Chew, confidence, perfect merge.
And you don't even need to use your hands to steer.
I do not.
Chuck, how do you get Blue Chew?
Well, Ray, the process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part? It's all done online. No visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA, unlike some products, and shipped in a discreet package. And no one has a more discreet package than my buddy Brad. It's like it's not even there.
I think you need to remember this confidence boost, right? I think Brad brought up a good point in his part of the copy here.
Yeah.
That confidence is really important, don't you think?
Yes, I think so too.
Are you meeting your girlfriend's parents for the first time?
Right.
Take a Blue Chew first.
Are you about to meet your birth parents for the first time?
Blue Chew.
Yeah.
Are you about to have your own child for the first time, and maybe your doctor is like really handsome, and you're like, is my wife attracted to the doctor? He's touching her in places that I want to touch, that I have touched, and I want to seem confident next to the doctor that's going to do this and help. Then
I think then you just probably call a licensed therapist, talk to them.
Or
right?
take a Blue Chew.
Take a Blue Chew. And if you are meeting your child for the first time, because I've experienced this. I've had my baby.
You had the doctor thing?
I had my baby come out of my wife, and I was holding the baby, and
like
I wish
it went right into your arms?
Right into my arms. And I
No
wish
wash?
No, we were in the back of a truck, and I wish I had a Blue Chew then.
Yeah.
Because think of the confidence you would have as a father imprinting onto your child for the first time. That baby looks up at you and goes, "Damn, that guy's got a hitch in his step, and I like him. I like the cut of this guy's
First
jib. He's my
impressions, very
dad.
important.
Wow, I'm lucky."
Yeah.
I'll say this.
Not that doctor.
No, the doctor is a small man.
He looks like yeah.
Chuck, do you remember when you entered that rap battle?
Yes.
And everyone was like, "There's no way Chuck can out-rap these guys."
Right.
But you
And the judges had a firm conversation about what language was appropriate for you to use.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of revisions in my lyrics. I hated that.
You went up with confidence.
I did. Did I ever tell you how I got that confidence?
How did you get it?
Blue Chew.
Oh.
If you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform or perform any task whatsoever, Blue Chew can help. Chew it and do it. We have a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use promo code Funbearable at checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping. That's $5. $5. What is that, a Lincoln?
Yeah, it's an Abe.
You toss an Abe. You toss an honest Abe at the USPS.
Yeah.
They're going to give you your boner juice.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be great. They give you your dick jerky.
Yes.
You're good to go.
Yes.
That's BlueChew.com, code FUNBEARABLE to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information.
Right.
Thank you, Blue Chew, for sponsoring this episode of Funbearable.
Yeah, and I'd like to say to the listeners, we have a lot of fun stuff coming up. I'm sure people want to support us. Best way to support us right now is support our sponsors.
And I would also say this. This ad break's too long. I think
It's
that's
really too
it
long.
is,
We can
it
cut.
is, yes.
And you
Some
know
of
what?
it.
You know what would have helped us? We should have taken Blue Chew.
Blue Chew. Thank you, Blue Chew. Okay, yeah. So this isn't going away. But I did want to ask you a question, and that's why I'm opening my phone a little bit.
Well,
here.
I think this is fun. I appreciate you coming on the podcast again. This is interesting because you came on the Chuck and Brad podcast when we were doing our podcast. You went on Ray Harrington Must Content. And over the years, Brad and I and Ray have formed this relationship where we kind of put those podcasts to bed, merged, and started this new podcast, Funbearable. Asked you again to come on, and you came on. I appreciate that.
Hey, good to be here.
We
You're
fell
like
in
a-
love in that episode.
That was
we
big.
did. Yeah,
There was some knee touching.
That's when I was
Yeah.
like, I like Mark, and then afterwards I was like, oh, I love Mark.
No, it's cool.
We were in my hotel room. I locked the door. We bonded.
I appreciate it very much because I know that, your time is people coming at you all the time. I see it all the time. I feel bad for you.
I had one today I got to throw out there. This was a new one.
Oh, here we go.
Because people always ask you for shit. That's like the
Yes.
thing. So
I don't want to be that guy. That's
no,
why I'm bringing
but
it
we
up.
know each other,
We're
so it's
friends,
different.
I
I'm
know.
talking strangers. We'll
I
be like,
know.
hey, can you come to my bar mitzvah and talk to my mom and all this? You're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And
But-
you were very nice. You said no to both things I asked. I wanted you to come to my mom's bar mitzvah.
Yeah, yeah.
Listen.
Bat mitzvah.
I'm gonna send a cake.
There you go.
I can't make it, but I'll send a cake. I got a guy.
I'll cut the tip off the cake.
I got a cake guy.
But so I was walking out of the hotel today just to take a walk and go get some food, and this guy goes, he's sitting there with his laptop, and he goes, Mark Norman? I go, yeah. He goes, oh my God, I'm a fan. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to go get some food. And he goes, can we brainstorm and write for 30 minutes? And I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, I'm a writer. I would love to pick your brain and write with you for 30 minutes. And I'm like, oh, well, I got to go. And he was like, oh. I'm like, what do you mean, So then, cut to, I just leave. I go, I got to take a phone call. I come back like 3 hours later. He's still there. And he goes, you ready? And I'm like, what? No, I'm not ready. No, I wasn't coming back to talk to you. I just bumped into you. And I was like, oh, I'm leaving. And then you pulled up, thank God. And I got the hell out of there.
Wow. That's I've never heard of that. Like somebody just like panhandling your 30 minutes of your time.
Yes.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Wow.
Man.
Hey, can we have a quick writing session? You want to break a couple of plots with me?
Right,
that would be really great.
Right. They never think like, what do you want? They just go, oh, you're here. Let's get this. Let's do that. We'll knock it out.
This is what's tough about the people that are fans of this stuff of comedy, films, other stuff, is that when they see you, they want to go, oh, like, I like your stuff. Let's jump into that. When really you're like, hey, that's my job, and I'm trying to, like, enjoy my leisure time. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right?
But that's like, all they know. So
I know.
They just unload.
It's tough.
Meanwhile, you're walking down the street, you're trying to think of a topper for that cake, and I don't mean a cake topper.
I mean, like, literal cake topper.
I got it. Isis icing.
There
we go.
Is that two grooms on top? They're both wearing tuxedos, I think.
Is that two grooms in blackface? Is that a minstrel cake? Is that what that is?
Chocolate.
Yeah, it's tough.
No, and I remember like when I did Conan right before the pandemic, right? Proud to say I was one of the people that put it to bed. But I know, I knew then, like, you had been on the show so many times, and I wanted to ask your opinion on, like, the waiting process, right? Because as comics, you think going in, like, oh, this is going to be something, the booker said it could be next week.
Yeah.
So I should probably plan for maybe the next 3 weeks. I'll probably be on the show.
Yeah.
You don't know. It's like, oh, no, it's a year.
It's a year. 10 months.
Yeah, so I wanted to pick your brain about it, just for 30 minutes. And but I remember reaching out to Doug Key, another comic that works with you quite a bit. And I was like, hey, because at that time we didn't have each other's contact information.
Love Doug Key.
Yeah, we didn't go camping yet. And I was like, hey, do you mind? And I remember, the kind of thing of like, oh, what's he want? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And I get it. I totally get that, because there is that feeling, and especially for somebody at your level, I'm lower. So the ones that come up to me are desperate. Right. And you can feel it. You can feel it.
But again, you're
when
aware.
These two came over and they were like, can you do a podcast
Yes.
with me?
Yes, we were.
Yeah. I was like, okay. All right. Yeah. I'm kidding.
I know you're kidding.
You're good.
No, I'm pulling you up from the muck. That's what's going on right now. I
Ew.
like that. Yeah, no, it's good. I think it's a good partnership.
I'm just hanging out in the muck.
Yeah, we're hanging in the muck. That's
I like to think of it as a 3-person 69.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right? Which would be, and we're all trying to do the math.
No, I'm trying to think if there's another 6 or another 9.
Yeah.
4.5 plus 6.
103 and a half.
Yeah,
103 and a half.
Yeah.
No,
yeah. 103.5.
Well, this is an interesting thing, because we want to take this seriously. We want to like kind of start over from episode 1. And Mark is like the king of podcasts, you know?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, yes,
I'd say
That's how he
more of a
describes himself.
podcast slut.
He is totally a podcast slut. It'd be like if you found out the head cheerleader of your high school, like Jennifer Love Hewitt and Can't Hardly Wait, if you found out she was a monstrous podcast slut. That's like Mark.
Well, I get all my friends are mad at me.
Literally anybody.
Yeah. Also, I don't think she was the head cheerleader.
That's like if you found out that Prince Charles
what I mean
was
is like,
a huge pod slut.
Well, people want you on the podcast because you sing and you all this stuff, but you'll also do anyone's podcast.
I can't say no, hence why I'm here.
Yes.
I get all my friends get mad at me because all these people reach out and go, hey, will you do my podcast? I had this guy, I had Norman. They go, oh, Norman did it. All right, I guess I'll do it. And then they'll call me like, that was hell. I was in the guy's basement. He tried to kiss me. What the hell? I had to drive an hour.
There was no recording equipment at all.
I show up, there's just him, a table, folding table, of course, and a cake. It's just a cake.
Just a cake.
I didn't read it.
I didn't have time. But no, that is the thing. Like, what in you? What's broken that makes you go, I got to do everybody's podcast.
It's a lot of guilt and like, who am I? Why am I not? I'm not above this podcast. And then I'm like, they asked me. That's nice, and I don't want to make them feel bad. So it's a amalgam of different emotions that I go through, and then I'm like, it's an hour, fuck it. And then you never know who might hear it. Maybe Elon Musk will hear it randomly. This 2-person podcast that no one's ever heard of.
He's a big fan of us. He's one of our fun bears.
Yeah, Fun Bears. That's what we're going to call our listeners. I think.
Like
I mean, that's what they talk about.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like the dancing Grateful Dead bears with like little dicks on them as like our mascot.
That's pretty good. I was
pretty
not
cool.
thinking of that.
Or maybe like an Ewok with a little dick on him.
Little?
Ooh, or the gummy bears. Little dicks on them as well.
No,
you know what I'm thinking?
noticing a trend.
Yeah, all bears. I think it's funny. It's funny too because like, you know, people talk to me about you all the time because it's the worst.
Sorry.
But people are like, oh, this marketing, blah blah blah, and people ask me about like the marketing aspect of this and all this stuff, and I'm like, I don't think he has a thought in his head about that kind of shit.
Marketing.
But you're a man of the people, which is part of the podcast thing.
Well, I do the whole meet and greet after, and everybody's like, "What are you crazy? How can you do that?" And it is hell. It's tough. You know, you get off stage, you're sweating. You want to think about your act. You want to sit down for a minute. And you got to go out.
I know.
And we're all introverted. So then you go out there and you're shaking hands with every Tom, Dick, and Harry, and they're like, so I had my dad died in front of me. He ate a cake, and now I'm here. And you're like, shit, I don't know what to do. Or how about this one? We drove 4 hours to see you. And you're like, sorry, I don't know what to tell you.
Do you feel like when you get off stage, often like, especially if like a booker comes up to me right after a show, I'm just like, I'm a different person right now.
Yes.
You know, like I'm gonna.
So true.
Whenever somebody talks to me right after a show, I fill so much dead space with just blather.
Me too.
Because it's the same instinct from the stage where you're like, I gotta fill it.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, that was great. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. You know, I just thought of it, and it's my shirt is this and then and I'm like, why am I talking? You know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And women, in my single days, you get off stage and they're like, he's the fun-loving, hilarious guy, and you're like, I just want to sit here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, so Steve Martin came up to you?
Yeah.
After a show, he's like, hey.
Excuse me, ladies.
That's great.
I like that a lot. Yeah. But I did want to bring this up, and I hope that's okay with you fine boys.
Of course.
Oh, boy.
There's a little news story coming from Maine, right?
Oh, yeah?
And I really enjoyed getting to know your history with Nolans, right? That was a lot of fun. At some point, we should put that up. I think that would be a fun bonus thing.
For sure.
That's good.
And in Maine, there is a news story happening right now. This is a horrible transition. So let's go back to pretending we just talked about the comedy festival.
Oh, right.
The Portland Comedy Festival.
Festival.
Yeah, and I'm on
That's good.
I'm doing my show on an island.
Island.
Big Island. I heard about
Peaks
that.
Island. Yeah, you got to take a ferry over there.
Stephen King, Shirley
Speaking
Jackson.
of islands in Maine, just apropos here, out of nowhere, there's a private island just off the coast of Maine that is for sale, right? And you're doing great. So maybe this is something you'd be interested in.
Like an Epstein
own some property,
situation?
right?
Well, maybe not exactly like an Epstein.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe the soft Epstein.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Chuck likes 22-year-olds.
That is true. All 20.
Any older?
And
I'm a soft Epstein. Get it?
unfortunately, I get it. He likes 22-year-olds.
Yes.
And then one of them got mouthy, so he only likes 19 2-year-olds.
There we go.
A private island off the coast of
Comedy.
Maine is listed for $339,000.
What?
You can own this island.
How big is it?
It's enough.
Could you? Wait a minute.
It's enough to do whatever you want to do on your private island.
Could you fit on it?
Yeah.
All right. That's
way.
pretty big.
The question is, what boat am I getting over there on? A couple of rowboats tied together, put them under my arms like floaties.
We get a bar, like a Captain Phillips kind of thing.
Yeah. Why am I doing this to myself?
Is that Seafaring Frankenstein?
No, nice Frankenstein or whatever you said. Good Frankenstein. No, that's good Frankenstein. How can you tell?
I would love to see you fight regular Frankenstein. Good Frankenstein versus Frankenstein.
Well, you know what bothers me? The She-Hulk show started this past week, right? This isn't a nerd thing. My son wanted to see all the Marvel stuff. I'm like, I got to look at it first, make sure it's okay. So I put it over to the menu on that, and my wife pointed out, she's like, Read that description. It says, oh, yeah, this normal woman, she gets the Hulk blood, and she transforms into a 6'7" monster. And I'm like, She-Hulk is 6'7"? And that's like, whoa. Oh, how's she going to navigate her life? It's fucking horrifying. Oh, look, normal clothes don't work on her. Oh, she gets sweaty doing a podcast in a basement of a comedy club, right? Like,
man.
it's horrible.
Well, 6'7's a compliment. She's a superhuman.
That is
Superpower.
true. Yeah.
I can't
want
wait for
her
her
to carry me too.
Yeah, there you go.
I can't wait for episode 2. It's just called The Cake.
You don't get gamma rays, just eat so much your clothes rip.
Yeah. This is fun. The island, though, right?
Yeah,
Private island.
$339,000 seems
private island.
reasonable.
There's a little cabin on it.
What?
Okay.
A little cabin, right? And there's natural wildlife on there.
Okay.
That's all you need.
So you can see all these things, look at them. You can't get to the island in the late spring, because it's just the rough waters or whatever.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
wow.
Yeah.
But other than that, you're good to go, right? You can have all your adventures. You can get away. Get
Yeah.
away from the people.
Yeah, nobody's
Oh,
asking you
God.
to write for 30 minutes
You
on this
got that
private
right.
island.
Right, and
Yeah.
if somebody does, that's a problem.
Oh, yeah.
Do we have a name of the island?
The name of the island, I believe,
I bet you can
is-
name it when you buy it, right? Because if you own it, it's like
I
a dog.
like that. Yes.
I don't know, but then the island won't know.
It won't
Like it won't
respond to that
respond
name.
to it. Yeah. It's called Duck Ledges Island.
What is it?
Duck Ledges Island.
Duck Ledges. Okay.
That's
Maybe
actually a
call
pretty
it
cool
Fuck
name.
Hedges.
That's a
Pretty
good
cool.
name, yeah.
Yeah, Duck Ledges. Got to go to the duck.
yeah. There we go.
Email me because I don't get service out on the duck, and
Right.
you know
Yeah.
people are like, oh, Mark Norman's got his island.
Yeah.
I like
This
it.
could be a good gift to your soon-to-be wife.
Yes. Put her out
Buy
there.
her an island.
Yeah, go to the island.
Have some fun. Kill some
Yes.
time.
Oh, you're pregnant? Go to the island.
Oh, now this is turning like colonial. I like this.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes.
But here's the catch.
Uh-oh.
The gentleman selling the island, he will not sell it if you just offer up the $339.
Uh-oh.
He wants you to spend the night on the island with him,
Oh,
so he can get to know you, because he was about to sell this island, Duck Ledges Island. He was about to sell it, but the guy that showed up to buy it had all the money, but he said he came with like a small army's worth of guns and was going to clear all the wildlife off of the things
Oh, I don't like
for
that.
fun.
Yeah.
For fun.
This man was a sociopath,
Yeah.
right?
Not a fan.
No. So he was like, no, I'm not doing it. And he cares about the island. So he wants to make sure that it goes to somebody that respects the island, right? It's starting to sound Stephen King-y.
Yeah, it
Little
is.
bit.
Yeah.
And so you would just have to spend a night with this gentleman on this island.
I would do
Okay.
that. That's not that creepy.
Well, this is the most elaborate grinder of all time. You know?
Yeah.
You have to spend a night with me for $300,000.
Couldn't that be a meet cute?
Uh-huh.
How did you guys meet? Spent the night on the island.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duck ledges.
Duck Ledges.
Yeah. Didn't shoot any animals.
We renamed it Fuck Ledges.
Yeah.
Yeah. But would you do it?
Yeah, I would do the night with the guy.
Night with the guy.
Yeah, and I don't
By
shoot
yourself.
any animals.
Yeah.
By yourself, night with the guy.
I'm a shoo-in. This is
Yeah.
made for me.
Yeah.
Really? You'd feel comfortable with that?
Could I bring the lady, or would that freak him out?
Solo. Only you and this guy.
see?
He takes you out on a little dinghy over to the island. You've got your backpack for the night,
Whoa.
and you're spending the night with this guy. And he's essentially going to interview you for that whole night.
Well, that could be a great podcast.
Yeah, that's
You know?
there you go.
Yeah, I like this podcast.
Monetize
Hard to
the
get
meeting.
guests. Hard to get guests.
Yeah, not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you guys-
gotta come to my island?
Right.
Would you guys, let's say it was all free and clear. The money's not a concern. This man wants to Willy Wonka you an island.
Yeah.
Right? You gonna spend the
down.
night?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna drink the chocolate water, whether or not he wants me to. So if I get sucked up into any kind
So
of
Chuck
soup-
just has diarrhea for the rest of the night.
He's gonna drink the chocolate water.
Yeah.
No, I'm down. I'm not gonna kill any of these animals, but I'm also like I'm so clueless with wilderness tech. So I'm out on the island. I think I buy the island. The guy leaves. I live a maximum of 4 days.
Yes.
And then I'm either eaten by a wild animal or I explode the propane tank that powers the cabin.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
something goes wrong and
The
I have no
puffins eat
idea how
your
to
eyes.
fix it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does,
Not the
Amaz-
puffins.
does Amazon go there? That's a
Ooh,
big
yeah,
factor.
it's true.
Yeah.
Maybe a
I'm going to say
drone.
no.
Oh, that's tough.
I'm going to say no.
Because you're going to have to bring everything on your dinghy.
Yeah.
See, I don't mind the meeting though, especially if the meeting is him being like a guy wanted to buy it, but he wanted to kill all the wildlife. That's totally reasonable to me.
Do you-
if he just said you have to stay here and he didn't have a reason, that's way creepier.
Right.
If he was
Right,
just
right.
like, yeah, you can buy it, but you're just gonna sleep with me here one night. That'd be weird.
I'm trying to sell my apartment in New York. I'm going to try this.
Yeah.
You can come move in, but you have to live with me for one night.
That's perfect. I like that.
Yeah,
I think there should be more get to know you kind of situations for buying property. I think that would work out well.
Can I tell you?
Sure.
I really strongly feel this way. You're gonna think I'm kidding. but
You're
like,
wagging your finger. I can tell.
I want more wackiness in the world. When I was a little kid, you would see stuff like Mighty Ducks, and we were talking about this Air Bud, like different things like that.
Those things didn't.
Those are
happen.
fiction.
Just
Those
wait,
are
hear me out.
movies.
Yeah.
Hear me
A
out.
dog didn't play in the big game.
I will say this. I think that when you're a kid, this is a feeling I've had for my whole life. When you're a kid, you're learning about the world. When you're like, let's say between the ages of like 7 and like 11, you're learning. Like right now, you watch Air Bud and you go, dogs can't play football. This is silly. When you're
No.
8,
I scream it and
When
then
you're-
throw the remote.
When you're 8, though, you're kind of like, oh, interesting. And like, so there's different things that
Just picture an 8-year-old Chuck going.
Yeah. Are you just saying you're stupider? That's it. As a kid, you're stupider.
When you think when you're 8, you're like, yeah, a dog can never play football, or like Mighty Ducks couldn't happen. You couldn't have Icebox on the team with Little Big League. Like,
Yep.
I think you think this stuff could happen. You're more like
Sure.
open to the fact
Yeah,
that
that's
maybe this could
because
happen.
you also think that a man comes to your house every winter and gives you presents.
well, this is the thing.
You know
So
what I mean?
you know, I've
Like
always
you're susceptible. You're a child. The role of the parents is to keep that magic aspect alive, right? I'm the only fucking parent here.
Well, so-
And
Yeah.
it's fine. It's fine.
So here's what I'm saying. I think when I was a kid, I believed that there'd be more wacky situations. Like,
being
okay, you
ugly.
can buy my island, but you got to come sleep with me there. Or like, we're gonna have this ragtag team the Mighty Ducks are gonna
Right.
beat the thing. We're gonna have a dog on the football team, and that just doesn't exist. There's no wacky shit. Even though people could do it, they could figure it out. And I think that that's why people like the eccentric billionaires because they do the weird shit. And even if you're like, I don't like this guy's politics, you're kind of like, but I like that guy.
Yeah.
But even the weird shit though isn't that wacky. It's fucking boring if you really look at it happening in real life. Like
Well-
if Elon Musk does a thing, when you hear about it, like surface level movie plot wise, you could be like, well, that's neat. But then when you look at the situation, you're just like, oh, that's
Like what? What are you talking about?
I don't know, anything Elon Musk is proud of, I guess.
If a billionaire is like, I'm gonna go to space for fun, I'm kind of like
Oh, yeah.
it's fun. It's fun to read about, but kind of in the same way that fiction is
I
good.
look at the ego race that's happening right now. Like we had a Cold War. This is like the ego Cold War of like billionaires going to space. It's like how much money can we spend on our own hobby before people finally realize that
You're ruining it. You're,
burning.
you're the person in the crowd in the Air Bud game being like, oh, that person just put his dog in to fucking get his
Nothing
name in the
rule
paper.
book says it can't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no.
I just want to enjoy
no,
the
I'm
dog
just-
playing football.
No, I know. For a movie, yeah. Absolutely. For a movie, yes. For a movie, I want Bruce Willis to go up and drill an asteroid
Yes.
Yeah.
for
thank
the
you.
movie.
Yes.
Right? But in real life, I would be like when Ben Affleck was drunk doing the Armageddon.
Yeah, press tour.
It was the DVD commentary.
Yes.
He was drunk on the DVD commentary, and like for a whole chunk of the movie, he's talking about how insane it is that it was easier to train oil drillers how to be astronauts in that movie than it was to train astronauts how to drill oil. And he's like, how hard is it? You just drill down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I stand by it.
No, I
didn't make the decisions,
I
by
thought
the
he
way.
talked to Michael Bay about it, and Michael Bay was like, "Fuck you, that's why."
Yeah, right, yes.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. But yes, whimsy and magic in the world
Don't
would
you-
be great. But
but I
once
think-
you look at the real life kind of stuff.
No, it's
you're like,
more
no,
important.
I hate it.
No, when they in The Rock, when they need Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery because he's the only person that escaped it. Like I want that stuff to happen in real life, but it never does.
No,
It's
it just
boring.
happens. Like the bad shit happens.
What about
You know what I
Elon
mean?
Musk? He sent a convertible to space.
See, this is
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. That's fun.
Aha.
Could have fed a lot of people with that money.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
That's
stupid.
You shot a
That's
car.
so stupid.
But
That's
feeding
bull-
people isn't fun
that's
unless it's
bull-
an
I'll
N-word
I- you
cake.
know, yes.
Sorry.
Elon Musk also gave away all the patents that he and Tesla had for like electric cars because he's like, I want the electric vehicle infrastructure to expand. And this was in like 2006 or 2007. And I'm like, what a great guy Elon Musk is. And then everything happened since then. And I'm like,
who cares? He smokes pot on Rogan. He goes to space. Let him have his fun. Well, you guys are stomping
You're
on
such a
his dream.
fucking defender. It's weird.
Oh, I think everyone.
Are you one of those people where you're like, hey, we should not be too hard on billionaires because one day I might be one?
oh, Chuck definitely thinks
Mark
that.
too. I think he's in my camp. What do you think?
I'm not going to be a billionaire.
No, but I mean, in
I'm about
terms
to
of
buy
like,
an island.
are you voting for the fun? You're voting for the fun, right?
I like fun. Yeah, I like
Hold on.
fun.
What is the fun that we're voting for?
Yeah, because I'm
The
for dogs
convertible.
playing basketball.
Yeah,
I'm voting-
sure.
Yeah, give me that.
I vote for convertible in space, oil drillers drilling an asteroid, Nick Cage and Sean Connery going into the rock.
So you just
all that
want
stuff.
all movies to be real.
Yeah.
I just think that people should have more fun with that kind of stuff. I think that the idea of them going to space, I get the idea it could be used for world hunger,
Yep.
but it is fun. There's something fun about it.
I don't know what you're arguing
I want to
for.
see Jeff Bezos at a funeral with a cowboy hat, and I'm like, I like that guy.
You like the dick rocket?
I think something,
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
But I
it.
don't know what you're arguing for though, like because
I'm
it's
arguing
fun.
I'm arguing for whimsy and,
Uh-huh.
and enjoying stuff
Yeah,
and being
I
creative.
agree, but like reality, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm voting for hoverboards. Why don't we have them?
Perfect. Thank
They'd
you.
be a lot of fun. I think we should have hoverboards, but
I
we
feel like-
don't.
I feel
and
like-
I want one, but
I
they
would
just
love
don't
one.
exist. I want one. I want to hear the hum of a
Yes.
hoverboard straining so hard when I step on it. I want to hear like it's just really struggling.
You have to do 4. 2 on each foot.
Just one on each foot.
Well, I think that you're the type of person where if Elon Musk spent $20 million on developing a hoverboard,
Yeah.
you'd be like,
Oh, that's a good point.
You'd be like, oh, why didn't he use that to feed the people? Blah, 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 blah. I want him to build the hoverboard. That's the same thing as going to space. Space convertible is the same thing as a hoverboard.
Well, to be fair, in like the future of Back to the Future, like there wasn't a sense of like, maybe everybody's going to get in something called water wars, right? Like the planet is drastically changing. You know what I mean? Like
not a lot of climate change.
there was
in
no
Back to the
climate
Future,
change
too.
in Back
Yeah.
to the Future too. Like there was no
True.
situation where it's like, hey, we're kind of fucked right now and getting slowly fucked even more every year.
Sure,
Right.
sure. That's not fun.
That's not fun. So what are you voting
Chuck's
for? I want to
bold-
stick my head in the sand.
Chuck's bold stance is climate change isn't fun.
Wow.
That's what I'm getting.
Every dollar spent towards something silly could be spent towards something that's more noble.
Yes.
But then we'd have a life of nothing.
Drudgery.
No fun.
Yeah.
No drudgery, right?
Yeah.
No, I understand. I mean, you're
I'm arguing for the rocket.
but you're arguing that to someone, to people that have just given themselves to comedy,
Oh, yeah.
right? We're with you. We understand.
All right,
like
good.
we've
I
had
feel like
to
you wouldn't
go
like the
through
space
that.
convertible.
I think, listen, man, I want to ride in a space convertible. I want to drive one
Ah,
around. I want to do
all
all
right.
that shit. But when it comes down to the person shooting the fucking car into space, has some really shitty views on how to spend money
here
and
we
where to
go.
spend it.
Here we go. This is why the space convertible is never
This
going
is
to work
reality, man.
out. I know.
You're just so if Hitler was like, we should do a circus, you'd be like, this guy is fun.
No stance on Hitler. Circus is good.
Yeah, two
No
things
stance.
can exist. You can be a dick and have fun shit.
No, absolutely,
See?
I agree.
Like
yeah,
the Cosby Show. Still great.
Great show.
sure. There you go.
There
See?
you go.
Best show.
Harvey Weinstein, great movies.
Yeah. See, what do you like about despicable people?
No, I mean, we're kind of going all over the place. I think we're all agreeing on the same shit and disagree, and like we all like the same stuff, and we all don't like the same stuff.
Yes.
It's just weird that you're taking this stance of like, but I like it more, and you're bad. Like that's what you're saying. Like you're a huge
I'll say,
downer.
I don't think it's fair that the dog played football.
Why
Okay.
not?
Why not?
Dog can't wear pads. It's not safe for the dog.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
that's a
he
good-
could
that's-
get
CTE.
CT. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of CT. Yeah.
True.
Canine CT. Yeah.
Yes, that dog's gonna lash out. I did hear that
Yeah.
dog viciously beat its wife.
Oh,
and was suspended for 2 games.
Yeah.
I
I
think it
saw
was.
the elevator footage.
Yeah,
it was
that
ugly.
dog.
Terrible.
Yikes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Paul
bad,
right
yeah.
across
bad
the
dog.
face.
Bad dog.
Very bad dog. Very
Yeah.
bad dog.
Down. Sit.
Yeah. 2 games. Got suspended for 2 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. I like the idea of
That
Chuck
was,
just like hating any kind of normal consequences of like life existing. And he's like, but that's not fun.
That is
I'm sorry, Chuck, your grandmother has passed. Oh, but that's not fun. Can't we put her in a fun little outfit?
Can we get Sister Act to sing at the funeral?
Why is everybody wearing black? What is that? And then you're just dressed in a fucking like Uncle Sam costume. You've got wacky waving inflatable arm
he's
flailing
on
tube bands.
stilts. He is on
He's
stilts.
on stilts. He's got the Rip Taylor fucking pop out thing. He's doing the shit.
That's a great,
Putting a whoopee cushion in the coffin.
that's a great example.
Why
of how I
is he
feel.
doing all of this? Look, everybody else is crying. It's horrible. Well, because it's fun.
You're like
How do we
Willy
get her
Wonka.
on these wires?
You're Willy Wonka. You want fun, but kids are dying.
Yes.
I don't care.
It's the pallbearers are carrying the casket and Chuck's behind them with a boombox and he's playing the Venga Boys.
Yeah.
But you know where that mentality eventually gets you.
Where?
Because as we've been describing this, right, and you don't want to hear the negative stuff.
No.
You just want the nice shit. What we're talking about is Donald Trump as president. Right?
Oh.
He didn't want to hear any of the. That's not fun. That's not fun. I want the fun shit. I want
He's
the good
not
shit.
fun,
I want to
though.
ride
He's
a tractor.
boring.
Well,
he's boring.
Nothing more fun than raiding a Capitol.
That's true.
That's a good
Yeah.
time.
That is fun. Breaking windows,
Oh, yeah.
getting in.
I had a blast, and I'm glad I wore my mask the entire time. Take that, facial recognition.
You are right, though. I think that is probably a problem I have. I don't want to deal with the drudgery of people of life. I mean, I think that all of us as creative people probably have this in us, like you were saying.
Yeah.
But I think that, I do think of it in a more everyday type of thing where I'm like, I hate when things are boring. I hate when things are like, you got to do this. This is sad. We got to get through it. And I do desperately avoid that, which is probably bad.
Does this slip into sex with you? Are you like, this is so serious, let me finger you with a yo-yo?
I do have those like
Oh, no, he's
glasses
putting-
with the spring. That's a good
He opens a little drawer on his nightstand, and just out comes a slide whistle.
I hope you don't mind if I bring some toys into the bedroom. And it's just Ninja Turtle figures.
the chattering teeth.
He's got one of those plastic hands that clap.
She's like, what's that? Like itching powder?
Did you just on my face? It's disappearing. Don't worry.
Were you putting itching powder under your own armpits?
That's because he's masochistic, right? He's sadomasochistic. He loves the pain. Yeah, he loves the pain. Do you have a safe word? No, because that would mean something wasn't fun. So I have no
My
safe word.
is yippee.
This is a thing, though. I mean, this is why I have 2 arcade machines in my apartment, right? This is probably the same thing.
Yeah.
Your safe word is the paramedics going, just call it. That's your safe word. It's all over. It's all over. No, I think yes. The really tricky stance that you're taking, I will completely agree. I know that this is scandalous to say, but yes, Chuck, I agree. I don't like bad things either.
There you
Isn't
go.
that basically what you're saying? As a grown man,
I just-
on the tail end of his 30s, going, I don't like not fun things.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you an example. Like, people are like, oh, like, do you like sports? I really want to like sports. And you know what I like? The most dramatic sports stuff. Like LeBron James coming up and becoming so good in high school that they had to move his high school basketball games to the local college because so many people were supporting him. That's sensational. That's super fun. Tom Brady, like being in like the oldest football player, or whatever, that did this well and having so many football rings, that's sensational. That's fun. But when it's like the everyday bullshit of Brad liking the Chicago Bears,
I do.
where he just watches every week and they lose and they suck and there's
I'm with you. I
like
hear
it's
you.
crazy. Like,
7 and 10 last year.
I want the Chicago Bears to be like
You want real bears out there.
I want them to be like our new linebackers of Bears.
No one has ever taken my idea. I say, like, I don't like sports. It just doesn't interest me. I was raised without a dad. There was never an experience. My mom, my grandmother, my great-grandmother didn't sit me down and like, you should watch this game, right? Hockey's the closest. I do like hockey. But for these games, my plan has always been, and no one has ever taken me up on this, it's very simple. Any field, football field, baseball field, basketball field, court field.
Yeah.
You just have a thing called the gun circle. You just chalk out a circle.
Okay.
You put one 6-bullet revolver, 6-round revolver in the circle.
Yeah.
And at a random time in the game, a whistle is blown, and for 15 seconds, the circle is open.
Okay.
Whoa.
If you touch it, you lose. If it's not during that time.
Yeah.
But for 15 seconds, you get the gun circle.
This sounds like the guy who tried to buy the island.
Yeah, exactly.
I would
want
have
a
a gun
gun
circle
circle.
on the island.
Yeah.
Okay.
But don't be upfront with that when you sleep with this guy.
Yeah. No, that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the idea of like random shit, but that never happens. Everything is so organized.
You,
and
you
so
don't want to
the
watch.
same.
You don't want to watch NASCAR. You want to watch Mario Kart.
That's
Yeah,
good.
beautifully put.
Isn't this why so many people believe conspiracies?
They're
because
fun.
It's
because
true.
what's boring is like one crazy guy shot a president when he was driving in a convertible or riding in a convertible.
Right.
The fun thing is to think like there's this whole big
Yeah, that's
cabal.
true.
You
You're
know
right.
what I mean?
That actually, it probably does dip into toxic behavior because
Right.
I've
Yes.
read that whole thing where it's like sensational disinformation spreads like a million times faster
Oh, yeah.
than like normal regular information because it's fun.
Well, drinking baby blood is fun.
Oh,
Yeah,
come
yeah,
on.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
so much
peak
better.
fun.
It's good for your coat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good for your coat.
Right?
Is it your hair?
No, like a dog.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll go.
I'll go is good.
Yeah, and I think that's why
That was
you
good.
you like the cake so much.
I love the
'Cause
cake.
that's a fun
That's
cake.
Right, that's
For
fun.
Chuck, that's a fun cake.
I think
Yes.
it's weird too because
I think for a lot of people that's not a fun cake.
like
Yeah.
would you rather stay in and have a boring night
Yes.
watching TV, or would you like to go out and mix it up even if some bad stuff happens?
I'd say 27 out of 28 nights I'm inside watching TV.
I say 8 out of 10 nights I want to mix it up.
Yeah, let's mix it up.
Let's mix it up. It's more fun.
Yeah, I like a mix-up.
You like a mix up? I can't get you
Yes.
to mix it up. I'd love for you to mix it up with me.
Chuck, you have known me the entirety of me being a parent. I can't just be like, you know what? This baby isn't fun. You know what I mean? Like, I can't just be like, oh, caring for this child sometimes is a drag. I guess I'll just not do it.
Right.
Right? And my kid is just starving, chained to
You
a
know what?
radiator, and I'm like, but I don't know what'll happen at this shitty bar. Woo! Oh yeah, somebody spilled a drink on my leg. That's so fucking cool.
We had so much fun at Chomp the other night.
Chomp was great.
That was awesome. That was killer.
I gave him a nice plug today.
Yeah, that's great.
Hire a
Good.
dog as your babysitter.
Oh, that's fun.
There's nothing in the rule
Your
book.
wife didn't say a dog couldn't be a babysitter.
That's true, yeah.
true.
But no, I think you're like, yeah. My thoughts on all the adventure of life and shit like that was one thing before I had a kid.
Yeah,
and I didn't
hear
become
that.
boring when I became a
Right,
parent.
no, you
I
became responsible.
I became responsible for a human being,
Totally.
and very tired. And so those
Yes.
things together makes me go like, well, what are we watching on that night that we stay home? Is it
Yeah.
something cool?
Right.
But
Yeah,
don't
I
get me
hear
wrong.
ya.
I love an adventure. I love doing weird shit, and I love finding new stuff.
Good.
One of my life little things is always like there's a weird story somewhere if you find it. You know what I mean? You just have to look for
Yeah,
it. Go,
Duck Ledge Island. It's a
Duck
weird
yeah,
Ledge.
go
That's
do
a
the
weird
go
story.
do the thing. Go do the weird thing.
Could I afford $340,000? Like, could I,
I think
talk
you
him
could.
down? I could probably swing that.
I
I
think
think
depending
you-
on the night, how well the night goes with him, that price
Lower the
might
price,
come down.
yeah.
It's
For me,
you're,
it's
an indecent proposal.
You're
if
really
you will.
interesting though because
Thank
Brad
you.
is like clearly like a nerdy guy.
Thank you.
Obviously very smart, very responsible. But think of him with like a torn hat and no shirt and overalls, and right away you're a maniac mountain man.
Yes.
Yes.
You're right.
Yeah, yeah.
You're-
Oh, I'd fit right in.
I'm picturing a jug with 3 X's.
Yes,
Yeah, you're the
yes.
type of guy
it's,
that's-
it's Mountain Dew in the jug. But
You're the
Yeah.
type of guy with a pitchfork and a torch chasing Ray off the island.
Get out of here,
I
good
always
Frankenstein.
pictured you as a skinny version of the guy that was going to kill everybody because his stapler got taken.
Yeah.
in Office Space.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
it's been close.
I like
Yeah.
to tell
It's been a
people that
rough
Brad's
couple
like
weeks.
a walking Q-tip.
Yes,
That's my
you've
favorite
said that
one. I think
quite a
little fuzz
bit.
on the top.
Quite a bit. Quite a bit.
You know, my thing with sports, I'm with you guys. I'm not a huge sports guy,
Yeah.
but I like boxing and UFC because you kind of get to know the fighter, whereas a team is just this
The one-on-one.
blanket team Broncos. I don't know
Yeah.
anything about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Right.
You're
But
right.
If they had football where they told you a little bit about the guy, right as he's like, if they freeze it, he's about to catch a ball, and it's like, he thinks or he hates cantaloupe or whatever, you're like, ooh, I feel like that would make me more.
You know why they don't do that though? Because all of the information that you're going to hear is like, oh,
you're probably right.
It's like,
I'll say
this guy beat a kid into a coma in college,
Right.
but he didn't do anything.
That's kind of
He didn't have any consequences.
The Little League World Series will put up fun facts. Like,
is that right?
Yeah.
You see now it's
I
going somewhere.
get behind it, and I like
Okay.
it, and I want to root on it, and I want to fucking bet on it. I want to bet on the children's sport game.
See, even the thing I said, I specifically was like
randomness.
LeBron James, Tom Brady. I wasn't like
Specific people.
it's the people that
Ray
you want to
Rice.
get
Well,
behind.
I'm attached
Ray
to the
Rice.
people.
N-word Ray.
Yeah.
N-word Ray.
Wait, I said yeah.
I was pointing to him. I meant this Ray.
Oh yeah, different Ray.
Different Ray. Before we go, we should talk about the podcasting aspect of this whole thing, because I want to talk to you about the fact that you've built successful podcasts over the years.
Oh, I thought we were going to finally get down
it's
to
interesting.
improving children's sports.
Yes.
I know, right?
By adding gambling.
No, it's just
How
it's
about this?
interesting.
If the team that loses, all the dads come out and say they're disappointed.
There you go.
One after another. Instead of the handshake row,
Instead
it's
of the
all
handshake.
the dads going, and I'm disappointed in you, and I'm disappointed in you,
Yeah,
and
the
I'm
head
disappointed
shakes.
in you.
The head
Yeah.
shakes the whole time.
You're adopted.
The divorce is your fault. Like a lot of that. I think that's good.
That is good.
That'll get you to play
Incentive.
better.
It also,
At least then it's out in the open.
And then they
Because
get a
it's
cake.
going to happen regardless.
Yes.
Winners get a cake.
Yep.
Right?
There you go.
You know what? At the pizza party, the other team has to make all the pizzas and can't eat them.
Oh, losing
that would be
team.
good.
They'd fuck with those pizzas for sure. If I was
yeah.
part of the losing team and then they were like, you got to make the cake or make the pizzas, I'd be like, well,
Wait, what does that one say?
Yes.
what's all the pepperoni lined up in a hey?
No, those are black olives.
Yes.
No, I was gonna say like we're starting this new podcast where I'm acknowledging. this.
said black olives matter, and I wanted to curl up on a ball and die.
You're a bad man. Get out
We
of
made
here.
eye contact, so I had to say it.
I liked it. I like black olives better.
No, I just think about the idea that we're starting this new podcast. We're trying to hit the ground running, and you've built these podcasts over the years. I mean, you started with Tuesdays with Stories.
Yep.
You might be drunk. You have
Yep.
your own thing now.
Yep.
By the way, did you do a podcast with Will Savintz that never came out? Like a total like a many episodes of one?
Well, kind of. He's such a fuck up, Will Savintz, that he's like, I have a podcast idea, and it was a great idea. It was
Yes.
about, he's a Haitian guy from Brooklyn. And
Yes.
he's like obsessed with old school hip hop,
Yeah.
And I don't know anything about hip hop. I'm the whitest guy on the planet. Maybe competition. But
He has to knight you.
We're going to have a dance off after this, and whoever's worse gets the title.
He has to pass off his pocket protector.
It's a trick. If you try it, if you even attempt the dance off, you've already lost.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So your knee hurts.
But if you get it shut down,
Yes, then you're whitest.
Who can drink
Okay.
more Diet Mountain Dew is the question.
Okay, you would. So he's like, what if we do a podcast where we break down hip hop lyrics and I explained the slang to you? And I was like, this is great. And
Yeah.
we did a couple episodes and it was gold. And I don't think he ever put them out.
He asked me. He was like, "Oh, do you want to help me with this?" And I was like, "Sure, hit me up."
Really?
But I haven't really talked to him. Yeah, it was really funny. It was at Joe's special taping, Joe List, and he took a bunch of pictures of me and Joe, Will Savintz, and he made a collage of all the pictures of me and Joe together, and he sent it to both of us. I thought it was really nice.
It's adorable.
Very sweet.
Check
Yeah.
out
Very
it. Print
sweet
it and put
Haitian
on a
man.
t-shirt.
I love it. But yeah, you've kind of built these podcasts. I mean, Tuesday's got to be by accident. You were just like, let's just do this and see what happens.
It just formed. It's kind of like, the first episode of Seinfeld. You're like, what is this horse shit? This is so bad. And then we just stuck with it, and it kept getting weirder and transitioning into this other thing. And now it's a whole different bag of hammers.
Oh yeah,
Started with 4 people. Started out with all stories, like telling crazy stories of the road, but
I
you
didn't
run
know it
out
was
of
4
stories.
people.
Right.
Oh yeah, they were gonna have a rotating cast around you and Joe.
Yes, kind of like a diner hang. That was what it was supposed to be.
right. Yeah.
And everybody tells
Yeah.
their crazy stories, but you
Right.
realize after 6 weeks, you're like, I am out of stories.
Right.
I've told
Yeah.
everything I know, so now you're in there like, so we'd have to build this little rapport and this kind of language, and that's how it started.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And then we might be drunk. I think that one's probably a little bit more like, oh, let's figure out what this is, this
Yeah,
world of podcasting,
traditional.
and kind of figure it out in terms of what really works with these two super talented comics. You know what I mean? You and Sam. But it's an interesting thing now because it's obviously not a part of what comedy was.
Yeah, you got to go with the flow.
Like you're building your career. When Tuesday started, you were already opening for Amy Schumer, so you're already like getting going and doing
Yeah.
a lot of stuff. You're in New York, you're getting a lot of accolades and stuff. And at the time, it's more like for fun, I guess.
Yeah.
But one thing I think about is for you and Joe, do you think the Tuesdays was a big part of the success moving forward? I wonder about that.
Of the career?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. Why? You think so?
I think that with podcasting in general, not necessarily just Tuesdays and Mark Norman and Joe List, but like all these comics that have had podcasts over the past 10 years, let's say, for sure. I mean, Maron's career changed 100%.
That's true.
Like before, he'd been doing comedy for 20 years.
Yeah.
And then he does Maron, and people get personally invested in who he is and start appreciating his comedy more. So do you think that's a thing with you?
That's tricky though, because he was ready to quit. He was
That's
ready to be done, and then
that makes it
Dan
less
Schlissel, Dan Schlissel, owner of Stand Up Records, right? I'm on the label, but he was the one that was talking to Mark, and said, "Don't quit. Just start a podcast, get your feelings out there, do your thing." And that's how it started. That's kind of crazy. Yeah,
Well, this is one of the things I think about is like for you, do you feel like it's like, all right, you have your act, which is honed and very specific and you're controlling every second of it. But when you're talking into a mic every week, a lot of your personality bleeds through that's like not really controlled.
That's definitely true.
And do people get more personally invested?
Yeah, I think at this point, much like you guys, you have to have a pod. It's almost part of the kit.
Yes.
You know, you got to have a pod, an act, a website, all this shit. So you got to have social media now. So
we made a dating simulator app.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's Android only. So
and then our catchphrase.
Yeah.
Our catchphrase.
yes.
Which we shouldn't say it.
No.
It's on a cake.
We just put it on a cake.
Yeah.
Oh, she
That's
knew
our
your,
catchphrase. Put
That's
it
what it
on
was.
cake.
She knew your instant messenger screen name from when you were in high
Yes.
school.
Yes, that's it. Yep. Yeah.
No, but like,
I thought it was White Frankenstein.
but do you think it's like, is there a segment of the population that we're like, I got
Pink
more
Frankenstein.
Pink Frankenstein?
Pinkenstein.
I was just sitting here quietly going, pink. I want to say pink out loud.
Yeah, say pink.
I just wonder if that's a part of like people's investing, because this whole world of like Patreon and like I'm gonna put the money directly to the creator as opposed to fucking HBO, NBC putting out a show. You're saying this goes right to the people I like.
Yeah.
You know, is that a part of like your success coming up, do you think?
I think maybe it's a part, but I think it's the opposite. I think the stand-up fuels the pod more.
Yeah.
You know, people are like, oh, who's this guy? I saw his HBO or Netflix. Let me go, oh, he has a podcast. Oh, now I really get to know him. So I think it's the other way, but I do think it's necessary. But here's where the problem comes in, and this is, you don't have to worry about this. Maybe you do, Ray.
Oh, definitely.
You don't want to become a podcaster over a comic. Because a lot of people have gone that route.
Right.
There's money in it. It's easy.
Yeah,
You just go to your bedroom, pull
For
a
sure.
mic out, and record it. And stand up gets second in the career list, and that's scary.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, I think about the idea of like, like doing a tour of live shows for a podcast.
Uh-huh.
That sounds fun. It sounds, it's just the fun, right? As long as somebody else has to plan it, that's a good time. But it would bum me out being like, I want to do this doing stand up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? There is
exactly.
there is that element. So we'll just have to find a balance.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's really, I think we're in a time where people are closer to kind of doing a lot of things and wearing a lot of hats and being able to do it. But you're right, because I do think it's like stand up is a lot harder than just doing a podcast in general. But there is that thing now where it's like, well, if you did look at it as just business, there's probably people out there who are like, if we were looking at this business, I make more money podcasting,
Of course.
and it's easier.
Yes.
And that's the equation. I can stay in my house, whatever.
But some of the most depressing interactions I've had in stand-up comedy
Yeah.
have been fairly recent. I mean, COVID kind of switched everything around, but timeline-wise. But like I remember coming back from quarantine and all that stuff, and a club asked me a favor. Hey, can you open for this guy that's going to be here? He doesn't usually do stand-up, that kind of thing. And it was this YouTube guy.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Right.
And he had a huge following.
Yeah.
He's like almost 50. He's got a huge following. He dresses like he's 19
Oh,
and
boy.
tries to hold on to it. And like my first impression of him was walking into the green room and him going, I fucking hate stand-up comedy.
Whoa.
And I was like, then why are you doing it, dude? And of course,
Paycheck.
he's selling tickets and people are there. And the club asked me to open, so people that weren't coming for that would get regular stand-up as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Operation Fan Steal.
But it was weird because I would go out on stage and for like 20, 25, 30 minutes do stand up in front of people that had no fucking idea. It was weird. It was uncomfortable. It was dead.
Yeah.
Like I'm bombing.
Wow.
The host, he's bombing every night. We're coming off stage like laughing to each other about how bad it is. It gets to the point by the end of the weekend, like I'm stopping and going, all right, so this part would be the setup, where I give you the information of the thing that's happening. Now this part's going to be the funny, the punchline.
You're breaking it down.
Yeah, so let's pretend when I start this thing, at the end, it's going to be pretty funny, right?
Right.
And getting to that point, and it was a bizarre weekend, because then he would come out, and people would fucking lose their minds. Because they get, and his set was not stand-up. It was not.
He would come out and he would pop those pimples, and people were like,
doctor. No, but like
doctor.
the host lost his fucking mind over the week. It was amazing seeing. I was watching the host while the guy was on stage, because the host is going back and forth. He's pulling hair out of his head. He's just like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what it is. And the guy's doing his thing, and it's like, at one point he's like, should I call my mom?
Oh, boy.
And everybody's like, oh, it's the mom from the show.
Yeah.
And then he ends every set with a Q&A.
Yep.
And that's most of the show. And one night he was done at like 30 minutes and stuff like that. He gets to Q&A. No one has a question. He's like, all right, bye.
Whoa.
And just walks away. But people are paying the ticket because they just want to see the guy from their phone.
That's all it is.
They just want to see the guy from their phone.
And maybe get a photo.
Right. And it's depressing as hell being a comic. Like, oh, I really, love this. And I like writing these things and coming up with this stuff. And I love the person I am on the stage. Not in an ego way, but like I feel more me there.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
You hear that, Chris Kattan? Get out of here.
Yeah, Ray says it. No, but it's a weird thing, because those people that are doing that kind of stuff, where it's like, I have a fan base, I can monetize it by touring, those people should just get more creative than being like, I guess I'll just do stand-up comedy.
Right.
They should figure out what they do.
Yeah.
They should say, here's what the live show should be, because people
Here's some clips, here's some bullshit.
People are always going to be like, I love this
true.
person.
Yeah.
Like if Tom Cruise was like, I'm going on tour as Tom Cruise, I'm coming to this venue. Even if people had no fucking idea what he was going to do, he'd fill it up and sell it out.
That was the Charlie Sheen tour.
Yes,
exactly.
right. Charlie Sheen, fucking crazy. So I think those people just need to get creative, figure out what
Misunderstood.
those people need to get creative and figure out what they bring to the table that's actually connecting with people, and try to incorporate that into what they're doing, as opposed to calling it comedy.
That takes a level of care.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I don't think that exists
Right.
for certain people. But Brad, you wanted to say something.
I was going to say, like, the idea of podcasting and stand-up comic, like, if you as a stand-up comic come to a region, twice a year, Providence, Boston, whatever, the other, 11 months of the year, a way to stay in the front of people's minds is that podcast.
For
You're
sure.
always producing.
yeah,
And so they're
sure,
always
yeah.
like, oh, what's Normand up to? Oh, he's pulling the list out of the muck. Like,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. So it does, it's an Ouroboros eating and feeding itself at the same time.
I never heard that
I don't
word
know that
before.
I pronounced that. It's a
I believe
snake.
it's Ouroboros.
Yeah. In Indiana, we say Ouroboros.
Well, that's because
the
people
snake-
in Indiana are stupid.
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah, for sure. It's a snake that eats itself.
Who was? Oh man, what comic?
I've only
said
seen
this
that
of,
word
of like
written
the middle of the country, and I go to Minneapolis is one of my favorite places
Yep.
to go and do stand up. I love it, but I do like this joke of like the Midwest is populated by families that were going to go to California, got halfway there, and just went fuck it,
Yeah.
and they just stayed. But no, I do think you're absolutely right, and I think there's a magic that happens with podcasting that can't happen in any other medium because of the performative nature of it.
Right.
Podcasts are when you can let slip a little bit
Yes.
and let your personality out.
Right.
People hear you all week long or every week, and suddenly they feel like they know you.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
That never, you could watch Seinfeld when that was airing for years and years, and you don't feel like you know Jerry
No,
Seinfeld.
not at all.
Exactly, right.
But someone can listen to Tuesdays with Stories for a year.
Oh, yeah.
And feel like they are absolutely connected with you and Joe, right?
Definitely,
I think
definitely.
that's for sure a thing.
Well,
that's not always great.
Yes.
Well,
no,
it's-
well, you got to keep feeding it. It's exhausting.
And there's a sense of entitlement now
Uh-huh.
in audiences that comes with that I don't think existed pre-podcast. I think pre-podcast,
Yes.
the closest somebody would be was like, I really liked that show. I wish it was still on the air. Or I like that comic. He was always really funny. I wish he would do more. Or she's great and she used to do this thing. And now it really does come down to like if you miss a week.
Oh, forget about it.
Oh my God.
If you don't do this thing or if you don't do that thing, and then people are always like, I like it when you're talking more about this thing. Why are you talking about that thing?
Can't read it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is really, really crazy.
It's really interesting. I mean, I think that the podcasting element, like with Joe right now doing his movie, I think a huge amount of the people that are buying the movie and going out to the screenings are people who are fans of the podcast and his appearances, because they know he's been talking about it for years, been wanting to do it for years, and this feels like a culmination to them where the people get a chance to support him.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what the positive of what it can breed is that people are like, I want this guy to succeed,
right?
Which is the window that it gives you.
That is positive, but there's also the negatives of last night. I'm doing a show and it's check spot and it's kind of dipping, and one guy's like, talk about the Beamer. Because I bought an old Beamer, and they're like, he doesn't care about this joke I wrote about, granola. He wants to hear about the thing he knows about.
Yeah,
Wait, hold on. What was the granola bit?
The whole thing about... I got to write it. Give me 10 minutes.
It was funny when you were there. It was
It is interesting because like I've kind of taken creativity in a way where I look at it like I want to say yes to things, go down paths that I'm not really like. I didn't necessarily plan on going down this path, but I'll say yes to it. But what you said just now about like you don't want to become a podcaster over a comic, I deal with that too. Last night, we were talking about the podcast, and you were like, "Oh, he's a podcast producer," and I was like, it broke my heart.
Why? That's not a mean thing.
Because I'm not a podcast producer. I'm a director. Like that's what I do. I do like filmmaking projects, but I produce Tuesdays with Stories. Because
you're his podcast producer though.
Yes,
right?
I am.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
To him,
these are the same words that I said.
To him, I'm a pod. I mean, it's tough.
This isn't fun.
No, I'm saying. Well, I am.
What if a dog would
What
be
if a dog was producing a podcast?
It's not in the rule book.
But this is a similar thing where it's like I feel like this is part of what I do overall as like a filmmaker, and part of it's like I came into like I pitched all these ideas to you and Joe about Tuesdays, like hot gay sets and all the documentary stuff, and I'm like that's what I want to do, and then things just rolled forward, and it's like well now I'm having these responsibilities. Connected to the other stuff.
I see.
That's how I think about it. You know what I mean?
But it isn't an insult, and you're starting to sound like the hooker who's like, I'm a sex worker.
Well, what if someone said, here's Mark Norman, he's a great podcaster? What would you say?
I see. I am a podcaster.
Yeah.
But,
Just like I'm a podcast producer.
but you want to be labeled the other thing.
Well, I'm doing the other thing.
I see.
Just like you're doing the comedy.
But have you directed a movie?
Yeah, I won a film festival for
really?
best documentary in Ohio.
See, I didn't even know that.
Oh, yeah, but it was the Chuck Staten Festival.
How'd you get in?
It was it was the Real Cool Guys Film Festival.
In the past,
he banged the.
I mean, in the
festival hosts.
in the past year, maybe in 3 months, we did 10 episodes of hot gay sets that I directed. What's the difference between me and someone doing that as a documentary series on Vice? That guy's a director.
Right.
Why am I not a director?
You know what?
You know what I mean?
I hear you.
But it gets into that world of like anyone you talk to that doesn't know the industry or know the lingo of things.
Yeah.
They'll just be like, he makes those movies. You know what I mean? Like getting into the delineation of title can get tricky sometimes.
Well,
like,
I think it's the same though as what you were saying about you don't want to be a podcaster over a comic.
Well,
Right. I don't want to be looked at as a podcast producer over an actual filmmaker.
I get that, but like when I did Be a Man, the documentary.
Yeah,
right?
Ray's also a director.
Right. I directed this documentary. I was in front of the camera and behind the camera.
Right.
I produced it and I directed it and stuff and went to Hulu and did all those stuff. We were talking about that earlier. And that's great. And it would drive me crazy when somebody said, "Oh, the star of this documentary." I'm like, "Nah, that's not." But I think that has more to do with
that feels a little
an
bit
absence of ego,
like
kind
an
of thing.
ego
Like, no,
thing.
I don't want that. Don't call me the star of it. Also, there should never be a star of a
I
documentary.
love the idea of being like, I have a real absence of ego. I love the idea of that sentence.
Oh, I didn't say that sentence though. So,
The kid in Dear Zachary is a star. I will say that.
absolutely, star quality.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
But it is an interesting thing because now I feel like as a comic, you have to take on all these hats. And I feel like the world that I'm in, where I've I've been podcasting for 13 years.
Yep.
I get paid to write. I've been a professional journalist for a long time. But really, like the directing and all that stuff and performing here and there is like kind of what I want to do. But it's just like the spider web of saying, I'm going to say yes to this. I'm going to say yes to this. I'm going to say yes to this. makes you more of like a chameleon, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's confusing for a lot of people to label those things. You know what I mean? So if somebody's saying, "Oh, he produces this," I think you got to take it with a grain of salt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's because so many people just don't know the ins and outs of that stuff. Right. I would say this about podcasting really quickly. The question now, because everybody has to have a podcast, right? It's more about like why you do it. And I wanted to ask you that when we were in that discussion. Like what main thing motivates you to do podcasting?
Just because I think it's, well, like we said, it gets people to know you, and Joe asked me to do it, and I think it helps sell tickets.
Yeah,
for sure.
I do think it helps, and that's really what we want to do is sell tickets to the stand-up. Like Seinfeld said he named his show Seinfeld just to help sell tickets.
Right.
So they go, oh, I know that guy.
And John Mulaney was like, let's name my show Mulaney because it will not fail.
Yes.
That's what he said was the hardest thing about it. He's like, I wish my name wasn't the name of the
It's tough though, because like I genuinely like the medium.
Yeah,
I like
me too.
the medium of podcasting.
Me too.
I think there's
I listen
stuff
to 5
you can,
a day.
Yeah, I think there's stuff you can do here that you can't do
Exactly,
in any other
exactly.
medium, and it excites me.
Yeah.
I'm also like I grew up listening to like the Adam Sandler sketch
Oh,
series.
same, same.
Like that shit gets me so excited. When we did the episode of Must Content, we were talking about New Orleans Law and Order. And all that stuff.
Right.
And like being able to play with the music and do those things was so fun to me. I'm like, I would do this if I was an accountant. If I was an accountant, I would be like, oh, sorry, I can't come and do the thing that I need to do because I'm just making some dumb funny sound thing. You know what I mean?
And stand-up is easy to do by, you can just put your name on a list, go on stage, and talk.
Yep.
That's considered stand-up, even if you bomb. And podcasting is even easier than that.
Yeah.
You don't even need the crowd. You don't even need the stage or the whole thing. So everybody's doing it, and I think it is good. It's just this bittersweet thing of the internet is great. You can get social media. You can blow up. You can go viral. You can have a podcast, but it's also 8 different hats and way more work.
Yeah.
So it's
This
bittersweet.
That's what's
This
tough.
goes back to the conversation before. The fun stuff comes with these little negatives, right?
There you go.
There you
You
go.
gotta deal with the shit.
You got to deal with the shit.
It's true.
Yep. That's
So
think we
that's,
did
that's
it.
our
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
our big takeaway. Our message is like this is hard.
Life
that
is
our,
bad.
Yeah.
You can-
Oh, you know what?
Oh,
You might have a cake, but there's an N-word on top.
hey.
have your cake and N-word too.
Yeah.
There you go.
Have your cake and read it too.
Yeah, or not.
Please
Just
don't.
don't.
Please
Yeah,
don't.
yeah,
I
read
would say always read your cake.
Yes.
Always read your
your
cake.
cake.
There you go.
Good stuff.
Good episode title, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you coming
Oh,
on.
thanks for having me.
I love it. This
Yeah.
is really fun. Yeah, very, very fun.
Genuinely glad to see you achieving more and more success.
Thank you. Well, as a podcaster, that means a lot to me.
As a
And as his podcast producer, I'm riding those coattails of the stars.
as a stand-up comic, I gotta say, your success, whatever. But I'm happy that you are fulfilled in your personal life. I think
Thank
that's
you.
important. And also,
Thank
I want
you.
to say this. I didn't get a chance to say this to you before. I'm friends with Chuck Staten. You know him,
Yeah.
and Doug Key, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And
Doug
I
Key, he's dating
hear-
my next girlfriend.
Oh, that's right.
I'm sorry, did you
That
say
was
ex-girlfriend?
girlfriend.
Oh, boy.
And I hear from both of them occasionally some nice thing you have said about me, and I just got to say, why don't you say it to my fucking face?
If I remembered what those things were, I would.
Look in your
like a-
journal.
And I remember he's like
Thought
a
about
good,
Ray again today.
He's like a good Frankenstein.
He's like a good
Yeah.
Pink Frankenstein.
Yeah. He's a real
Which I'm
cake
going to
eater.
open right next to Pinkberry. And it's going to be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Pinkberry should be your nickname.
Yeah. Hey. Oh. All right.
You
We're
said
going back
pink
to
earlier.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
Willy
All
Wonka.
right. All right. Everybody take your shirt off.
All right.
Close it, Brad.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you all so much for sticking around through this episode. Thank you to Mark Norman for being here. You can check us out at Funbearable Pod on social media if you want to write in, funbearablepod@gmail.com. Happy to hear from all you fun bears. For Ray Harrington, Chuck Staten, and Mark Norman, I'm Brad Rohr. Thanks for being Funbearable with us.